Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tori Creates podcast, episode 59. My name is Tori or Victoria, the mastermind behind the crazy, and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to another podcast. It's been a little while. Before I jump into everything, you can find me a few places on the interwebs. You can find me on Instagram as Tori Scheffner. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie, Lilwestie. You can find show notes on the blog. Those are still at woolymastodon.wordpress.com. And I am on Facebook. I'm just not as active there, I should say. And I am here on YouTube. I will have all the links below if you want to find me in those different places. But with that, yeah, it's been a while. I managed to get sick in the new year, so things got pushed back a week. Well, I managed to get sick. And then I had a lot to catch up on after I got sick. So things got pushed back a little bit. But anyway, here we are. I do have some things to show you. Maybe not as much as I would have hoped. But again, like I said, I had gotten sick. I didn't get the one and only sick. But I just got a cold. So I was lucky. I didn't get the bad stuff. I don't know if YouTube is still picking and choosing those code words. But I didn't get the bad one. I just got a regular old cold. But I haven't gotten sick in a few years, which I've been really lucky, so it was a fun one. But either way, I decided to take some rest, which was 100% the right decision, but now I am back, and I have things to show, and I actually have one finished object. So let's just jump into this today. You probably are guessing what it might be based off of the type of pouch I am using. Excuse me, making sure my battery's not flashing at me that it's almost empty. I finished a pair of socks. I finished my shorty socks, and these are made with the leftover yarn that I had from my pink velvet sweater. And for this particular pair of shorty socks, the only other pair of shorty socks I've knit, well, that's not true. When I was first learning to knit, I tried to knit shorty socks or slippers with baby yarn because I didn't have access to sock yarn and I didn't know what I was doing. So those are not my first ever shorty socks, but my first successful shorty socks, I knit the Row City rollers, but I just wasn't a fan of how they fit. So I just decided to basically wing it and knit it with my sock recipe, my just stockinette sock recipe. And I knit with the Afterthought heel. I added a little bit, and then I still added a bit of a cuff because I wanted to make sure they wouldn't fall down. They fit well, except I either need to decrease for the cuff or use even smaller needles, which would mean I have to go down to size zeros, but it's fine. But yeah, I finished a pair of socks. These are knit with Hawthorne fingering from Knit Picks. The blue the turquoise is Poseidon, and the yellow is Cattail. So I finished a pair of socks. I have to photograph these and then I can finally wear these because I finished these a couple weeks ago. So these have been off the needles for a little while, but they're super nice. I definitely need to tweak my formula. I'm going to try this in another pair of socks, but I'm thinking about even maybe putting a little elastic into my knitting at the top of the band to hold it up. To be determined. Haven't decided, but I probably will try knitting another pair of shorty socks soon because that's all I wear in spring, summer, fall around here. And then I wear all my tall socks in winter, but it's just too warm for tall socks the rest of the year in the deep south of Wisconsin, just south of Madison. But I work in Madison, so either way. All right, so I have one finished object. That is all I have for finished objects. So that is that. I do have a few works in progress. We'll start with the new one. Naturally, I finished one pair of socks. I had to cast on another, and I've actually gotten quite far on these socks. These I am knitting for Dad, and the yarn is everywhere. I have a bunch of things going on this, so excuse the mess here. But I have finished one complete tube minus the cuff. I am using Knit Pick Stroll fingering in black for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And then I am using Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed Tonal, and this color is Iron Soot. So this would be the other one I got at Hobby Lobby. And it's just a gray, but it's like a tonal gray. It's really pretty. So I finished one sock, and then my dad likes a slightly tighter cuff because he wants it to stay up on his leg. And I couldn't really think of a way to do that successfully. I did go down a couple needle sizes on my first pair, but it wasn't quite tight enough. So what I'm thinking about doing is knitting some elastic into the cuff. I went to Walmart and tried to source some. I'll have to see if any of it works, or if I just like run a line of elastic through a couple rows when I'm done. But because I wasn't sure how I was going to handle the cuff and I needed to break the yarn anyway for the new color, I just put it on the smaller needles, broke the yarn so I could start the second sock, and then I can deal with the cuff later once I figure out how I'm going to handle it. So I did one tube, got a little, I'm not sure if it's going to lay flat, I've got a little like takeout container stitch marker on here that I made ages ago. And then I've actually started the other sock. So I have a toe. I've completed the use of the black yarn, so I can use that for the cuff if I figure it out, and then I am working on the body. And I've done quite a bit of work. This is about all I could work on when I was sick, and actually there were a couple days where I just wasn't up to anything. But when I finally was, I had to stay home from work one day, and I was sort of feeling a little better, so I finally could knit. I knit on the sock, because that was pretty much all I could manage, brain space-wise. But I finally have gotten on to the second sock. I am working on these mostly at work again now that I'm feeling better. But I occasionally pick these up anyway, just because I enjoy knitting socks so much. But this is the Iron Soot. It's really pretty, really soft. Yeah, that is my new works in progress, or work in progress. So let's get that closed up. I don't think Midnight will come and visit us, but just in case, she really does like a good knitting needle or knitting cable if it's just hanging out and about, so I do need to keep those put away. Let's see, my only other like work in progress that I'm going to show you is my Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry, because I've gotten quite a little farther on it. I have worked on my granny stripe blanket, but I haven't gotten through that skeiny yarn yet. So I will show you this. First of all, I have officially decided that the sweater will not leave the house. It fits just fine. It's really soft. Well, I don't know. I have to see how it lands. I don't think I'd wear it to work. Let's put it that way. I can't say it'll never leave the house because I'll probably wear it running errands or whatever, so who cares there. But I don't see myself wearing this to work. But I did finish the body. So the body is done. This is the Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry. It's knit out of Knit Picks Renaissance. It's a hand paint color Renaissance. I know why I bought it, because, you know, fresh out of art school and college, I was like, oh my goodness, it reminds me of everything. So I got this. It's not bad. I just don't see myself wearing this to work. This might be a bit much at work. But I finished the body. The length is good. It does come in the bottom because of this cuff here, or this ribbing at the bottom, but it fits just fine. I did try to match the length to my pink velvet because I really like that length, and I think I did a good job on this one. You'll notice that it is knit inside out, so now you can see the right side, so you're actually going to see the back side of stockinette for the main part of the body of the sweater. And then I have started on the sleeve, so I have started on my first sleeve, and then I've got another sleeve to go, so I'm on Sleeve Island. But I'm not mad at it. This is knit out of US 3 3.25 millimeter needles, and then US 1 1.25 millimeter needles. Excuse me. A little residual sniffles from this cold still a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. I do think this is going to fit really well, to the point that I might want to knit it again. Maybe knit it a size larger and knit it again, because I think this will be more of like a shirt sweater. I could put a shirt under it, but I'm not going to like be layering with this because how I wanted it to fit. And this is normally supposed to be really oversized, so it might be fun to knit one a little more oversized as well. Or this is the Weekender Light. She does have Weekender, and I don't remember if that's knit out of worsted or bulky or DK or what it's knit out of, but either way, I really like it. I like this sweater. Pretty crazy, but Nothing like a crazy color, because I do appreciate those. And yeah, I'm chugging away. So we're already on Sleeve Island. This is what it looks caked up. And yeah, I'm not mad at this. I'm really enjoying this. And my yarn is going everywhere, so I think that one is just going to have to sit on the floor. But that is the second work in progress, and really the only other work in progress I have on the needles right now. I want to cast on some things, so we'll go with the upcoming cast on. I've really been into wearing shawls because it's been cold here, so I've been really into wearing my shawls, hand knit shawls, to work. And I've kind of been cycling through a different shawl every day, which actually my boss has really enjoyed because she just comes over to see which shawl I'm wearing that day. But it's hand knit season. It's been below zero a lot of days. It's also been warmer a lot of days. So, you know, I pick out the shawl according to the weather, and I've even worn some shawls that are really, really old finished objects. So it was nice to get those out and wear those, and people seem to be like, oh, those are cool. I'm like, yeah, I've had these forever. So that's been fun. But what I really would like is a nice squishy, like a big fingering weight shawl, probably. But like one of the really big ones. So whether it's the Find Your Fade, or I don't know, I'm not really into Stephen West patterns, but some of his stuff is like really big and squishy. I just want a big squishy shawl. It doesn't necessarily have to be worsted weight, that might be too bulky, but a big, huge fingering weight shawl that uses a bazillion skeins of yarn. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards right now, because then you can just cozy up in it, and I could sit in my desk at it and basically be in a blanket. So that's what I'm leaning towards right now. And then the other thing, which I am super excited about, is one of my coworkers is pregnant, and she knits and crochets, and she's really into it. And she's newer at the company, and when she found out I knit or crocheted, she was like, she'll come over and we'll chat about knitting and crocheting. So I was like, oh, you're knit worthy. So I am going to make this soon to be baby all of the things, hopefully. My goal is to at least make us a couple stuffies. But I think it would be cool to make a few things, because I've really never done baby knits, because it's like, if you're not into knitting, I just feel it's a little weird to give you like knit sweaters and things. Like stuffies I've done. Stuffies, like little amigurumi, I'll give to people. Like there's a hippo pattern that I love to make because it's so cute. But other than that, I don't really do a whole lot. So this might be fun. It might be fun to venture into some baby patterns that I've never done before. So if you have any suggestions for something you really like to knit, let me know, because I have no idea what I'm doing, because I've really never knit. Like I even am thinking about knitting her a sweater for this kid. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea what my plans are, but it's kind of exciting because she's a knitter and crocheter, and she's like super into it. So I knew if I made something, she would understand how much time it took, and she'd know how to take care of it. I'm not going to knit anything out of wool because that's a mess, but like, you know, acrylics, soft acrylics and stuff. So I have been thinking of all of the ideas because this will be really fun. And I'll probably make another amigurumi hippo because I've made that pattern like 3 or 4 times at this point. But yeah, any suggestions, let me know, because I have no idea. This area is, I haven't really knit a whole lot of baby stuff, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun to make her a few things. So I'm going to do that. And then let's see, I do have some stash enhancements. So we'll start with what's on top. I initially went on to Knitpicks because my Yarn Swift is it just exists. It sits up on a shelf because I don't have a dedicated place where I could leave it set up, and even if I did, Midnight really likes my Yarn Swift. So I can't just like leave it set up because she'd be like, ooh, this is my new toy. So I knew probably a year ago Knitpicks had released a Yarn Swift case or bag. And I mean, it looks like a yoga bag. Okay, I get it. I could get it somewhere else. But I went onto their website because I was just curious, and I was like, oh, they had 2 colors left. They had this one and then a rose gold. And they were selling them out. They were closing them out. They weren't going to sell them anymore, at least this style. And they were like $11. And I was just like, even with shipping, that would be cheaper than the original price. But of course, I ended up getting some yarn, so I got the free shipping. But I'm really happy I got this, because this. If you're don't know what a Yarn Swift is, a Yarn Swift is this thing. You basically put a skein of yarn on it, and it makes it easier to unwind. Do I have a regular skein of yarn sitting here? Not really, but it just makes it easier to unwind, because if it doesn't come in ball or cake format already, then you have to like wrap it around a chair or have somebody hold it for you. And this does it for you, and it spins and it adjusts to whatever size cake it is. But you'll also see it's loose. Like, this is made to move. And I didn't want to damage it. It's a very pretty tool. It is a little expensive. I mean, the Knit Picks one is far more affordable than all other ones that I've looked at. So I have this, and it's very nice. But it's a more expensive tool, and I want to take care of it. So I got this bag, and it's really cute. It's got like a knitting fabric on the inside. I don't know if you can see it, but it's perfect, obviously, because it's made to fit this Yarn Swift. I haven't even taken the tag off of it yet. I should take the tag off. But yeah, it's a Yarn Swift case, Knit Picks We Crochet official Yarn Swift case, and it's got a detachable strap, so if you were on the move taking it somewhere, whether you were taking it to like a knit night or to a friend's house or what have you, it's got a little case. This is great. I love this thing. I'm so glad I bought it. So I got that. And then because I was looking at their like clearance items, I got this cute little Notions or knitting pouch. It says knit one per two. It's so cute. And it's a canvas bag, so it's really, really sturdy. It is lined just with the same color as the outside fabric. So I could use this for Notions if I wanted to, or I could put a really small project. I don't know what I'm going to put in here yet. I don't even have to use this for knitting. It's just really cute. So I got that. And then I got some yarn. So I was going through and working on my granny stripe, excuse the crinkle, granny stripe blanket, and I had to wind another ball of yarn. And I realized that I gravitate towards a lot of bright colors, and like the dyers that I like to buy from use a lot of pink. And the problem is that I don't normally knit with a lot of pink. I appreciate pink, and I appreciate it like in the mini skeins, because then there's not a lot of it and it's going into the blanket. But the problem is that all the scraps that I have used up in that blanket, there's not a lot of pink. So the blanket was getting this really abrupt shift from like pink here and there to pink. And I was like, I need to get some skeins that aren't pink. And so I need to find some brown still, but Knit Picks sells some mini packs, some Stroll mini packs fingering weight. So I got 2 of them. I got Deep Sea, which is these colors here. So it's blues into grays and blacks. Sorry, it'll probably be hard to see in the bags. And then I also got Terrarium, very fitting. But this has greens, like the lime green, of course. And then it goes down into like a blue, a dark, deep blue gray. So I got these 2 packs. It comes with 5 20-gram minis. So these are really nice. I mean, obviously they were from Knit Picks, so they're a lot less expensive from buying them from an indie dyer, which I really like minis from indie dyers, and I maybe probably would prefer them. But just to kind of fill out the colors in my blanket for now, because obviously this won't be enough yarn to make my blanket. This is a long-term project and a long-term investment. But I got these. So, and then last but not least, I got 2 skeins of Stroll Tweed fingering weight in the color Barley Heather. So I was kind of leaning towards like a cute pair of socks, maybe even doing a patterned sock. But it's just this like mustardy yellow color, and it's really pretty. So I got 2 skeins of that. So yeah, stash enhancements. Whoops, sorry, I think I just bumped you. Sorry. Well, let me see. Non-Knit Loves. Random, but when I was sick, I could have really used a humidifier, and we don't own one. And so I went on Amazon, and I bought a mini humidifier. This looks tiny. It technically fits like in a cup holder. You could put it in your car. But I also intend to maybe use this at work, because it's really dry there. I haven't, because we're wearing masks. We technically don't have to wear masks. Based off of the Dane County and Wisconsin mask mandate, we don't have to wear masks if we're all vaccinated, which we are. But we've all been getting sick. It's the colds and bronchitis, and the unfortunate thing, well, mostly colds and bronchitis, have been knocking us out one by one. So we've been wearing masks, like pretty much all of us have, because it's just like, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna help, but if it'll help us from getting sick again, I'm all for it. And when we were sick, you know, if there were any possibilities of any residual sickness left, just wear a mask. So I haven't brought this yet, but it's literally just you open it up, you put the water in it, plug it in. The only thing that's weird is the plug is in a really weird place. I don't know why it's up there, but that's because all the mechanisms are up here, and then you can turn it on, and it lights up, and it is a humidifier, really small, inexpensive. I like it. Couple other things are more related. Well, this is I was at the Dollar Tree, and they had these little canvas pouches, and I thought these would be perfect for when I travel and I bring a spare project. And I have like extra yarn just in case I want to knit something else. I tend to just throw them in my bag, but then the skeins of yarn can get messed up. So I figured I could just throw these in here, and just like, they're cute. Obviously they're for Valentine's Day. They're supposed to be goodie bags. But I was like, oh, I could really, it's $1.25 because it's Dollar Tree, so everything's $1.25 now. But like, really inexpensive, really cute. And I can just throw my yarn in there. And then when I go on trips, or if I have an extra skein of yarn like in a project bag, then it won't get tangled. It won't get messed up. So that was another thing I got. And then finally, I've wanted to do some macrame. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. Let's put it out there that way. And I watch a lot of DIY videos, either for decor or even home DIY videos. I watch a lot of them. Tina Lee Mac, I think, is one of them, and she does a lot of macrame. She does a lot of macrame, and I love macrame. Mom taught me how to do macrame, but I would mostly only do jewelry. But I've been seeing these things on Pinterest, of course, where you can either buy them or make little like hanging macrame mini succulent things or whatever. It's basically just like a little keychain, but for in your car, like to hang off of your mirror. And it either has like a baby succulent in it, a fake one, or like a lot of them were crystals, but I'm not into that, or like seashells or something. And I thought that was really cool. So Justin had gotten me this fashion crochet thread, which is it's a really fine, well, it's not as fine as a lot of crochet thread. It's thicker. It's a number 3. And I thought I could use this, since it's the right color, and it's pretty fine, which actually would benefit the look, and then make one. The only thing is I didn't have a good source for succulents, so this will probably be way too big. But I got some like fake succulents at Dollar Tree, so they don't look the greatest. Just putting that out there. I probably would use something like this really small one, and just pull the clip off of it. It's got like a claw clip, or I could use one of these and like cut the stem off. This will probably be too big because I got the pot just to play with ideas. Even I could just make one for in the studio, because this will probably be just way too chunky to hang off. The more I look at it, yeah, this is too big. So something like this would probably be more appropriate, or like I said, cutting this one off and then nestling it in. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it goes, because it was like, these were only $1. I got this for Christmas, so you know, if this idea doesn't work, I didn't put or $1.25, excuse me. I didn't put a ton of money into it, and I wanted to try it. I've wanted to try it for a while, so there's that. And then the other thing, I actually did go to Dollar Tree. The main reason I went to Dollar Tree was to buy some mini canvases, because I just want to play with paint. Nothing that I really want to show on here, because it's literally, I just want to mess around, and if I make something that's cool, I'll share it. But I went in with no expectations, and I went to the Dollar Tree to get these canvases, because you can get the packs of like the stretched canvas board or little canvases for $1.25. So if I screw up and I really don't like it and I can't fix it, I can throw it out. And at the end of the day, yes, it's waste, but I got to get into it somehow. So it's cheap, so I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, that was another thing I did. But other than that, let's move into life lately. Well, I've already shared that one, as I'm just like playing with this. Sorry. I will set that down. I shared that I was sick. So I really lucked out. It fell at a perfect time. I could tell on a couple Fridays ago that I wasn't feeling the greatest, but I was talking a lot, and sometimes when I talk a lot I get a sore throat. So I was like unsure, but I got home and all the adrenaline wore off, and I was like, oh, I'm actually sick. So I had the entire weekend. I took Monday, and then I was able to go back, but it wiped me out. I haven't gotten sick in a while, so I've been very lucky. So it was one of those things. Didn't get a whole lot of knitting done. But other than that, around that, I've just been keeping busy, doing a lot of deep cleaning in the apartment, because even though it's nowhere near spring, it's almost like I wanted to do spring cleaning. Sorting a bunch of stuff. Is that foam? Sorry, I'm playing with this too. Sorting a bunch of stuff, just going through things, knitting, getting more creative with recipes again in the new year, just things like that. So it's been good. It's been good. It's been busy. It's been pretty busy. Been doing a lot of work, working a lot of hours, although it hasn't been quite as bad, because they've kind of shifted one of the jobs that I do. We've kind of pivoted in how we handle it, just to save me. Actually, it cut the time in half for how long it takes. So that was pretty cool. So now I have time to do all the other stuff, like claims. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been busy, but it's been good. We're into the new year. And yeah, hopefully I will be back with another episode sooner than later. I've been rambling for a long time now, so I should probably let you guys go. But hopefully it will only be 2 to 3 weeks until the next episode, instead of almost a month. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But let's see. I'm trying to remember what I'm doing here. It's been a while. You can find me, just as a recap, you can find me on Instagram as Tori Schaffner. I'm on Ravelry as lilwestie. I am on here, obviously, on YouTube. And the show notes are on woolymastodon.wordpress.com. And then, of course, you can find me on Facebook, just not as active there as I always say. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, comment below, share it with your friends on the interwebs, because we'd love to grow this little community. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful couple weeks ahead, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye!